Very good afternoon to all the students of BIPC. This is your Prasanna Ma'am from NEET World. So, in this session, we are going to discuss APEAPCET paper 2025 May 19th Shift 2 paper. Okay. In the previous class, we have discussed May 19th Shift 1 paper. Now, we are going to discuss May 19th Shift 2 paper. To which set of students this session will be helpful? This session will be highly helpful to all the students who are in 12th standard of your BIPC going to write your EAPCET exam, either TG or APEAPCET 2026, and it is also helpful to the students who are going to write NEET. So, let us exercise the questions in just half an hour. Okay? So, yes, if you look into this first question, this is given from diversity of living world. From diversity of living world, always there is a chance of statement based question. So, here if you have to see assertion reason based question, molecular interactions result in emergent properties at higher level of organization. So, there is a paragraph which explains you about cellular organization in living world. Okay? It explains you about what, Nana? Cellular organization, which says that the properties of a tissue are not present in the group of cells present in the tissue, but it is a result of molecular interactions between cells. So, molecular interactions between group of cells will give the property of a tissue, right? And molecular interactions between group of cell organelles will give you the property of cells, right. So, this is the way the cellular organization is described, which says that molecular interactions results in emergent properties at a higher level of organizations, be it from cell organelles to cell and cells to tissues, tissues to organs as such. Okay. So, assertion is true. In reason it is saying all living phenomena are due to underlying interactions, right, correct, right. All living phenomena from cell organelles, from cell to an organism, it is due to underlying interactions. So, assertion is true and reason is also true. Reason is explaining the assertion. Okay. How? That in reason all living phenomena are due to underlying reactions. This is explaining the molecular interactions of the living phenomena in the higher level of living organization. I hope this is clear to you. Next, this is very simple from the living world chapter. This is very simple question actually, but you need to analyze that single paragraph. The question is completely based on that single paragraph of cellular organization. Second question, if you see, choose the correct statement among the following. So, here again is a statement based. This is from the chapter biological classification. For every set of question, I am giving you from which chapter and from which concept the question has arisen from. This is from biological classification. Fine. So, now if you see the very first statement, white spots are due to Puccinia, which is completely wrong, because Puccinia will cause what disease, Puccinia is a rust fungus. This causes rust, wheat rust. Okay. This is a rust fungi. This does not cause white spots on the leaves. So, this is wrong. Next, mycelium with multinucleated cytoplasm is cenocytic, right. So, which subdivision of fungi is showing multinucleated cytoplasm? Phycomycetes, right. So, in Phycomycetes you will see the multinucleated mycelium, cenocytic condition. Third statement, if you have to observe, bacteria produce endospores under unfavorable conditions. True, endospores are produced under adverse conditions. They serve as organs of perennation, not reproduction. During favorable conditions, what does bacteria do? During favorable conditions, it conducts binary fission. Correct? Next, Goniolax release toxins to kill fish. True, this causes red tides in the Red Sea. So, this is also true. What is the wrong statement here? Statement 1 is wrong, rest 3 are true only. So, here correct statement includes 2, 3 and 4. Next question. Yeah, here again assertion reason question beta. So, if you look into the progress general statement, okay, this is given from the introductory paragraph. Before chapter there is introductory paragraph, right? So, from that the question is framed out, look into it. The progress in biology was rapid during the past 3 decades. True. This was due to invention of microscopes and study of sexual patterns. Wrong. This is due to new innovations in biotechnology, genomics and molecular interactions. This is not because of invention of microscope, because invention of microscope is long back. Okay. Current improvement or rapid progress in biology is because of development in biotechnology, genomics, molecular interactions. So, here assertion is true, but reason is false. Got it, ma'am? Next question. This is match the following type of question from the chapter Plant Kingdom. So, if you look into it carefully, algae, in algae we have 3 classes. What are they? Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae, right? So, Phaeophyceae is one of the class and the example belonging to it is Sargassum. This is true. Okay, this is true with respect to this. Option 1 is true. Bryophyta, if you take Hepaticopsida, which includes liverworts, best example is Marchantia. This is also true. Next, Pteridophyta, which are first terrestrial vascular plants. So, here Pteridophyta, under this one of the class is what? Pteropsida. True, but Equisetum does not belongs to this class of Pteropsida. Equisetum belongs to what, Nana? Sphenopsida. Equisetum belongs to Sphenopsida. Okay. So, what includes under Pteropsida? Under Pteropsida, it includes Pteris, Dryopteris and Adiantum. Okay. Pteris, Dryopteris, Adiantum are included under Pteropsida of Pteridophyta. Gymnosperms, Neotopsida is one of the class. True. Next, but Pinus does not belongs to Neotopsida. Pinus belongs to what? Coniferopsida. Okay. Pinus belongs to Coniferopsida. Coniferopsida. Fine. So, yes, if you have to look into the options, which are the 2 correct combinations you can find out here? 1 and 2, right? Next. This question, if you have to see, this is from morphology of flowering plants again. So, very interesting question. Velamen roots. Velamen roots you can observe this in epiphytes like Vanda. Okay, velamen roots you can observe in epiphytes like Vanda. Auxiliary buds as tendrils. Auxiliary buds as tendrils. This you see in the modification. Which modification? Stem tendril modification, that is watermelon. Okay. Third, floral buds which act as storage food. Okay. Best example is agave. If vegetative buds are acting as storage of food, that is example includes Dioscorea. Floral buds, so it is agave. Swollen petiole, best example is Eichhornia. So, now if you have to look into the options, A is what? Vanda, velamen roots includes epiphytes Vanda, B will be 1, auxiliary buds, that is watermelon, floral buds agave. If he is asking you about vegetative buds, what you have to choose beta? Dioscorea. Next, swollen petiole includes Eichhornia. Next. Yeah. The margins of sepals and petals overlap one another, but not in a particular direction. If it is in a particular direction, which option we have to go through? Twisted aestivation. Okay, sepals and petals which are overlapping each other in a particular direction like this. This is twisted aestivation. But then if it is not overlapping in a particular direction like this, okay, if it is like this, it is what aestivation? Imbricate aestivation, which is option 2 here. Okay, very simple question. Next, again assertion reason type. So, here you can see this is from ecology. Presence of Eichhornia in a pond can lead to the death of fishes. True, this leads to the death of the fishes. It is an invasive weed and occupies the total pond. This is also true, reason is true, but why it is leading to the death of fishes is not explained. It is leading to the death of fishes because of oxygen depletion. Okay, this is because of what, ma? Oxygen depletion. Fine. So, presence of Eichhornia in a pond can lead to the death of fishes. Death of fishes is because of what? Oxygen depletion, not because the invasive weed is completely occupying the pond. This is not the direct reason for why which is causing the death of the fishes. This is not the direct reason. The direct or the obvious reason is what? Oxygen depletion in the pond. So, now the correct statement is assertion and reason both are true, but reason is not explaining the assertion. Next question, beta. So, yes, here this is from sexual reproduction of flowering plants. Listen carefully. So, in this question, in flowering plants, a mature female gametophyte is derived from megaspore mother cell. That is very true. We know that. What is the female gametophyte in the angiosperms? Embryo sac. Embryo sac is the female gametophyte. This is derived from megaspore mother cell. By how many divisions? Okay, by how many divisions is the question. So, now if you have to see ovule structure, in majority of flowering plants, ovule is inverted with two integuments. Inside ovule, complete placenta will have what cells, Nana? Nucellus cells. It has nucellus cells. Nucellus cells, one of the nucellus cell from micropylar end will convert to megaspore mother cell. This is diploid. All the nucellus cells are diploid. One of the nucellus cell from micropylar region will differentiate into megaspore mother cell, and this will undergo one set of meiosis, and this leads to the formation of tetrad, linear tetrad, which is having haploid megaspores. Okay, this is having haploid megaspores. The three cells which are towards the micropylar end will degenerate, and one cell which is towards the chelical end will be functional. Okay. This will undergo three sequential mitotic divisions. First division it forms 2 nuclei, second division it forms 4 nuclei, and third division it forms 8 nuclei like this. Okay. From this 4 and 4, one of the nucleus will comes to the center, and here also one nucleus will come to the center, which gives rise to 7-celled 8 nucleated condition in the embryo sac. Okay. So, here upper 3 cells towards the chelical end are called as what? Antipodal cells, and lower 3 cells which are towards the micropylar end, 2 are synergids and 1 is egg, together called as egg apparatus, and at the center you have 2 cells called as polar nuclei or central cell. These 2 nuclei combinedly they form one cell, you will call it as central cell or polar nuclei. Clear? So, now what is happening inside the ovule? What is the female gametophyte here? Embryo sac. How embryo sac is derived from? Megaspore mother cell is the question. How many meiotic and mitotic divisions are involved? Listen carefully. Towards the micropylar end, inside the ovule, completely placenta is present, right? In placenta, nucellus cells are present which are diploid. One of the nucellus cell which is towards the micropylar end will differentiate into megaspore mother cell. This megaspore mother cell, after one meiosis, this forms one long tetrad of haploid megaspores. Three megaspores which are towards the micropylar end will degenerate, and one megaspore which is towards the chelical end is functional. This functional megaspore will undergo 3 sequential mitotic divisions, and after 3 sequential mitotic divisions, this forms 7-celled 8 nucleated condition, which is female gametophyte, that is embryo sac. 3 3 antipodal cells towards the chaliza and 3 cells towards the micropylar end, of which 2 are synergids and 1 is egg cell. Together you will call it as egg apparatus, and central cell which is having 2 nuclei, that is polar nuclei. Here what option you have to choose beta? First, 1 meiosis and 3 sequential mitotic divisions. Option 3 is the correct answer. Next question. So, identify the plant in sequence with the following characters. Okay, tendrilar climber, odd sepal, anterior and self pollination is conducted by what family? Fabaceae family. Because odd sepal anterior, this is because of what, Nana? Vexillary aestivation, which has 1 standard petals, 2 wing petals and lower 2 keel petals. So, here in vexillary aestivation, that standard petal you can see, that is odd sepal anterior, right. So, this is from Fabaceae family. Second, twisted aestivation, capsule and terminal flat. Twisted aestivation in which family you will see? Solanaceae family, and the best example given here is Datura. Next, berry type of fruit, cladophylls, tuberous roots. Cladophylls is seen in what? Asparagus modification, right. So, here asparagus is given, cladophylls the asparagus. Next, geocarpic, monadulphus and oil seeds. Geocarpic is seen by what? Groundnut, Arachis hypogea, and monodulphus condition again belongs to what family? Fabaceae family. So, best example with this characteristics is what? Groundnut, Arachis. So, the option we have to choose is this. Clear? So, the characteristics are given, we have to analyze, we have to choose out the option, that is it. It is as simple as it is. Nothing but little application way he has asked in the from the morphology of flowering plants chapter. Here you see ma, this is from cell biology, directly from the shapes of the cells. That chart is there, right? Diagrams chart, directly from it is asked. Amoeboid shape is belongs to what? WBC. Elongated tracheate cell. Long and narrow you can see columnar cells, branched and long cells are what? Nerve cells. It is as simple as it is. Next question beta, again assertion reason questions. So, if you have to look into APEAPCET paper, most of the questions will be statement based, assertion reason oriented questions only, okay, which tests your subject. So, here assertion if you have to see ma, non-polar tails of saturated hydrocarbons are protected from the aqueous environment. So, this is from cell membrane, okay, fluid mosaic model of cell membrane. So, now if you have to see this will be the bilipid layer, right. So, in this bilipid layer proteins will be as icebergs in the sea of lipids, right. So, now non-polar tails, this is what? Polar end, polar head which is hydrophilic, this is hydrophilic, and this is non-polar tail, okay, this is non-polar tail which is hydrophobic. Okay, this is hydrophobic. Remember, do remember that. So, this non-polar tail of saturated hydrocarbons are protected from the aqueous environment. Correct, right? How they are protected? These are protected because polar heads are on the outer side of the membrane. Polar heads are on the outer side of the membrane, right? So, here assertion and reason are true, and reason is explaining the assertion. Because what if like this, if you add and read the reasons again after assertion, it will be easy for you to tackle the question, assertion reason question, okay. Next question ma, any doubts you can type in chat box beta. Plant ash, this is from biomolecules chapter, again statement based only. So, plant ash includes all carbons and inorganic elements. Carbon will not be seen in the plant ash because due to the combustion carbon molecules, all the carbon atoms are eliminated as carbon dioxide. No carbon is seen in the plant ash. Second point, in amino acid, an amino acid and acid group, amino group and acid group on alpha carbon makes it alpha amino acid, that is true. If you have to look into amino acid structure, it will be same. The carbon group will be having one R group, carboxyl group, amine group and OH group. This will be the amino acid, right, where alpha carbon is having both amino group and acid group. So, this is alpha amino acid, that is correct. Next, glycerol has 3 hydroxyl groups, this is also true. Acid insoluble fraction are called as macromolecules, true, because acid insoluble fraction includes all the biomacromolecules like carbohydrates, polysaccharides, lipids, proteins and nucleic acids. So, this is also true, ma'am. What are the correct set of statements is asked in the question. So, we have to go with 2, 3 and 4, right. Next, here if you see, choose the correct statement among the following. Again, duplication of the genome, synthesis of other constituents of the cell and division to produce new cells is called as cell cycle. True, as the duplication of genome happens in the S phase, in interphase G1 phase might be, G2 phase might be, what happens? The other cellular constituents are also duplicated and cell size is increased as genome gets duplicated. So, this is correct statement. Interphase is followed by resting phase, wrong. Okay, interphase is not followed by resting phase. Interphase is followed by what phase, beta? M phase. Okay, interphase is followed by M phase. Third statement, in every cell division genetic variability will increase from generation to generation. Wrong. It is not in every cell division, only in meiosis the variability is increased from generation to generation. It is only in what, beta? Meiosis. Next, plant cells can divide mitotically in both haploid and diploid cells, correct. Okay, because in plant cells, be it gametophytic cells like megaspore, microspore, they are dividing haploid. Okay, they are haploid cells and they are undergoing mitotic divisions, right, gametophytic cells, and diploid sporophytic cells are also undergoing mitotic divisions. So, here what are the correct statements we have to opt? 1 and 3, clear? 1 and 4, clear? Next question. Yes. Yeah, this if you have to see assertion reason, again this is from anatomy of flowering plants. So, here if you see, ma, the functions of sieve tubes are controlled by the nucleus of companion cells. Okay, the sieve tube cells and companion cells are called as sister cells. Okay, sieve tube cells and companion cells are called as sister cells because both of them are autogenetically related. The pressure gradient of sieve tube cells are controlled or monitored by companion cells. So, here you see the companion cells help in maintaining the pressure gradient of sieve tube cells. Okay. This is from leaf, leaf will be source and these are phloem tissues, right, from source to sink. In sieve tubes, the pressure gradient is maintained by what? Companion cells. Next, gymnosperms, phloem has albuminous cells and sieve cells. Yes, true. Gymnosperms does not have sieve tubes and companion cells, they have sieve cells and albuminous cells. Correct, right? So, this assertion is true and reason is also true, but reason is not explaining the assertion. Those both are two different statements, right? Next question. Yeah, here you see, beta, again assertion reason question. Dicot leaf is dark green in color on the upper surface and light green in color on the lower surface. Why dicot leaf is dark color in the upper surface? Because of palisade parenchyma without any intercellular spaces above the upper epidermis, that is adaxial epidermis. What are present? Palisade parenchyma are present, that is why it is dark green in color. Below the palisade parenchyma, if you have to see, spongy parenchyma is present. What is present, Nana? Spongy parenchyma is present. This spongy parenchyma will give lighter color to the leaf because it has broad intercellular spaces. In reason, if you have to see, ma, palisade tissue is at the abaxial side, wrong. Okay, palisade tissue is at the adaxial side, spongy tissue is at the abaxial side, that is lower side. So, here assertion is true and reason is false. Just look into how many statement based and assertion reason questions are asked. Again an assertion reason question, look into it. This is also from anatomy of flowering plants only. Due to water stress, the bulliform cells in grasses make the leaf curl outwards, wrong. Bulliform cells, which are larger cells in the epidermis layer of monocot leaf. Okay, these are the large cells which are colorless, and this leads to curling of the leaf inwards, not outwards, during flaccid conditions. This leads to what beta? Curling of the leaf inwards. Next, in reason, if you see, bulliform cells are large, empty and colorless cells, correct. So, here if you have to see, assertion is false because leaf will curl inward, not outward, and reason is true because bulliform cells are large, empty and colorless cells. Next question if you have to see, ma. Yeah, this is from the introductory page of the scientist from ecology chapter. Very simple question. Establishment of Natural Committee of Environmental Planning and Coordination was established by the efforts of Ramdeo Misra, who is the father of Indian ecology. Okay, direct question, ma. Next, this you see again statement based question. Carbon dioxide fixed by forests will have direct economic value. True. Next, by reducing the use of pesticides we can protect the pollinators. This is also correct. Next, ecosystem services are delivered by non-living organisms of ecosystem. Wrong. Ecosystems are directly delivered by biotic agents, not by abiotic agents. Next, pollinators play significant role in enhancement of food production. That is a true statement. So, basic theoretical statements which are from direct statements of Telugu Academy. So, yes, here statement 1, 2, 4, 3 are correct. Next, you see, choose the correct combination of mechanism of translocation. Nice application based question from transport in plants. Okay, this question is from which chapter ba? Transport in plants. So, translocation, if you see the options, it is with respect to phloem. From phloem, sugar translocation happens from source to sink, right? Sugar translocation happens from source to sink. Here source will be what? Leaf. Source will be leaf only. From leaf, as we have discussed, sugar first enters the sieve tube cells and the translocation or the pressure gradient of the sugar is maintained by the companion cells, and then this is how the transport of sugar takes place from source to sink. Whereas, water flows from roots to the tip of the leaf by what? Just by osmosis. Okay. So, here this will be the correct answer with respect to what? Phloem and xylem translocation. That from leaves, that is source, sugar enters the sieve tube cells, that is how the sugars are being transported, and how water is being transported mostly through osmosis. Okay. Next, last question from this session, you look into, yeah, attraction of water molecules to polar surfaces of trachyary elements. Trachyary elements can be both tracheids and vessels. Okay, can be anything. Tracheids, just a second, tracheids which are long, elongated with tapering ends. Okay, these have pits at the center, whereas vessels, if you see, they are elongated and cylindrical with what? Perforation plates. So, water molecules which are being transported through tracheids or vessels, water molecules whichever are transported, the attraction in between water molecules is called as what? Cohesion force. Okay, that is cohesion. Whereas, the attraction between the water molecules and the trachyary elements, okay, water molecules and the trachyary elements, this is called as what? Adhesion. Cohesion and adhesion are the forces united to pull the water above. Okay. So, here attraction of water molecules to polar surfaces of trachyary elements is what? Adhesion. In between water molecules only, so it is what? Cohesion. Clear beta? Now, the answer should be what? Adhesion, as it is the force in between polar molecules and trachyary elements. With this, we have completed the questionnaire session of today's. In tomorrow's session, we will deal with the rest half paper of this EAP set, AP EAP set 2025 May 19 paper. Okay? Thank you.